This is Neural Newscast.
Here is what matters for Sunday, March 1st, 2026.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Noah Feldman.
And I'm Isabel Moreno.
A joint American and Israeli military operation killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, on Saturday. The strikes targeted several high-ranking officials in Tehran, including the country's defense minister.
President Trump confirmed the operation on Truth Social and warned Iran against further retaliation. He stated that the U.S. and Israel used sophisticated tracking systems to locate the Iranian leadership.
The Pentagon called the mission Epic Fury, while Israel labeled it Roaring Lion. The operation follows weeks of military buildup and the reported failure of nuclear negotiations in Geneva.
Iran has responded by launching missiles toward Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. The Iranian parliament speaker called the operation a criminal act and promised devastating blows in return.
Turning now to the humanitarian situation on the ground in Iran. The Iranian Red Crescent Society reports that more than 200 people have been killed across the country since the strikes began.
State media reported that a girls' primary school in southern Iran was hit during the bombardment. Local prosecutors say at least 85 children died, and more may be buried under the rubble.
U.S. Central Command says they are looking into reports of civilian harm, Isabel. Captain Tim Hawkins told NPR that the protection of civilians is of the utmost importance to American forces.
In Tehran, residents describe a state of panic as internal security forces flood the streets on motorbikes. Many are attempting to reach their homes, while communications remain cut across much of the city.
Meanwhile, the conflict is rapidly expanding to involve other nations in the region. Jordan reported downing 49 drones and ballistic missiles that were threatening its territory earlier today.
Several Gulf nations, including Saudi Arabia and Qatar, have also reported Iranian strikes. In Dubai, smoke was visible over the world's busiest international airport and its major shipping port.
Debris from air defense collisions caused injuries in residential areas of Dubai. Israeli rescue services report that one person has been killed and over 120 injured in their territory during the first 24 hours.
The situation remains fluid, Noah, as regional air defenses remain on high alert. Many countries are now grappling with the logistical fallout of closed airspace and disrupted trade routes.
Still, the United Kingdom is assessing its own posture in the Middle East. Defense Secretary Joan Healey said British military personnel in Bahrain were within several hundred yards of a retaliatory strike.
Healey told the BBC that protecting UK bases from indiscriminate attacks is now a top priority. He noted that 2 missiles were also fired in the general direction of Cyprus.
The UK did not participate in the strikes, but says it shares the goal of preventing Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. Prime Minister Keir Starmer confirmed British planes are currently conducting patrols.
The government is also reviewing its domestic terror threat level in light of the escalations. Healey declined to comment on whether the UK would join future military actions against the Iranian regime.
Next, the volatility in the Middle East is testing the resilience of global oil markets. Investors are concerned that sustained conflict could severely limit the flow of energy through the Persian Gulf.
The Financial Times reports that the proximity of strikes to major ports in the UAE has increased market anxieties. Oil prices are expected to see significant fluctuations as the military campaign continues.
President Trump stated that the U.S. intended to raise Iran's missile industry and annihilate its navy. Such a comprehensive destruction of infrastructure would have long-term effects on regional trade.
Supply chain experts are closely watching the Strait of Hormuz for any signs of a blockade. Any closure of that waterway would have immediate and severe impacts on global energy supplies.
In other news, internal stability in Iran remains a primary concern for international observers. President Trump has encouraged the Iranian people to take over their government once the bombing stops.
However, military analysts say it is extremely difficult to topple a government with air power alone. Iranian security forces previously suppressed mass street protests just last month.
Human rights groups claimed thousands were killed during those previous crackdowns. The heavy presence of armed guards on motorbikes in residential areas suggests the regime is preparing for domestic unrest.
The death of Khamenei creates a significant power vacuum after nearly 4 decades of rule, Noah. It is unclear if a successor can maintain the same level of control over the security apparatus.
Here is what else we're watching. The International Atomic Energy Agency says there is currently no evidence that Iran has resumed uranium enrichment. This contradicts claims made by the U.S. administration.
Nuclear experts are urging caution as the strikes continue near known Iranian facilities. The IAEA has monitored the program for years and remains the primary source for verification of Iran's nuclear status.
Still on our watch list, the U.S. Congress is deeply divided over the legality of the strikes. Lawmakers are debating whether the president had the authority to launch the operation without congressional approval.
Finally, we are monitoring the UK terror threat level as officials meet to discuss potential risks. Security services are on high alert for any retaliatory actions targeting British interests abroad or at home.
This has been Neural Newscast. Thanks for listening.
Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.
Neural Newscast uses artificial intelligence in content creation, with human editorial review prior to publication. While we strive for factual, unbiased reporting, AI-assisted content may occasionally contain errors. Verify critical information with trusted sources. Learn more at neuralnewscast.com.